Hi, we're here again with the Tailor of Gloucester. And you may remember that we were learning about the Tailor of Gloucester, who was making a wedding suit for the mayor. Yes, the mayor, who was getting married on Christmas Day. And he did all his work and he ran out of, he called it twist, but he ran out of thread, and he sent his cat, Simpkin, into the village to get the thread and some other things. Can you imagine? So tonight we're going to hear a little bit more. He had just started meeting some of the mice in his home, so we're going to learn more about the mice tonight. And so here he was looking in the cupboard because he heard a sound, and there is one of the mice, and then here is another one. Let's see what happens. So he said, the tailor sat down close over the fire, lamenting. 21 buttonholes of cherry-colored silk, to be finished by noon of Saturday. And this is Tuesday evening. Was it right to let loose those mice, undoubtedly the property of Simpkin? Alack, I am undone, for I have no more twist. The little mice came out again and listened to the tailor. They took notice of the pattern of that wonderful coat. They whispered to one another about the taffeta lining and about little mouse tippets. And then all at once they all ran away together, down the passage behind the wainscot, squeaking and calling to one another as they ran from house to house. And not one mouse was left in the tailor's kitchen when Simpkin came back with the pipkin of milk. Oh! They're just the most adorable little mice. And here's Simpkin coming back. Of course, Simpkin has an outfit on, right? Of course he is dressed. Simpkin opened the door and bounced in with an angry grrr, meow, like a cat that is vexed. For he hates the snow, and there was snow in his ears and snow in his collar at the back of his neck. He put down the loaf and sausages upon the dresser and sniffed. Simpkin, said the tailor, where is my twist? But Simpkin set down the pipkin of milk upon the dresser and looked suspiciously at the teacups. He wanted his supper of little fat mouse. Simpkin, said the tailor, where is my twist? But Simpkin hid a little parcel privately in the teapot, and spit and growled at the tailor, and if Simpkin were able to talk, he would have asked, where is my mouse? Alack, I am undone, said the Tailor of Gloucester, and sadly he went to bed. All that night long Simpkin hunted and searched through the kitchen, peeping into cupboards and under the wainscot, and in the teapot where he had hidden the twist, but still he found never a mouse. Whenever the tailor muttered and talked in his sleep, Simpkin said, meow, grrrsh, and made strange, horrid noises, as cats do at night. There he is, with the teapot. Such a pretty tea set. For the poor old tailor was very ill with a fever, tossing and turning in his four-post bed, and still in his dreams he mumbled, "No more twist, no more twist." All that day he was ill, and the next day, and the next. And what could become of the cherry-colored coat? Oh my goodness. So this was Tuesday night when it all started, and it says that he was sick the next day, Wednesday, and Thursday, and the wedding is on Saturday. What should become of the cherry-colored coat? In the tailor's shop in Westgate Street, the embroidered silk and satin lay cut up out upon the table. 120 buttonholes, and who could come to sew them? When the window was barred, and the door was fast locked. But that does not hinder the little brown mice. They run in and out without any keys through all of the old houses in Gloucester. Oh my goodness. And it looks like they're very good with the needle and thread. Out of doors, the market folk went trudging through the snow to buy their geese and turkeys and to bake their Christmas pies. But there would be no Christmas dinner for Simpkin and the poor old Tailor of Gloucester. The tailor lay ill for 3 days and nights. And then it was Christmas Eve, and very late at night, the moon climbed up over the roofs and chimneys and looked down over the gateway into College Court. There were no lights in the windows, nor any sound in the houses. All of the city of Gloucester was fast asleep under the snow. And still, Simpkin wanted his mice, and he mewed as he stood beside the four-post bed. Oh my. My cat does that. She stands up like that. But it is the old story that all the beasts can talk in the night between Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in the morning, though there are very few folk that can hear them or know what it is that they say. When the cathedral clock struck 12, there was an answer, like an echo of the chimes, and Simpkin heard it and came out of the tailor's door and wandered about in the snow. From all the roofs and gables and old wooden houses in Gloucester came 1,000 merry voices singing the old Christmas rhymes, all the old songs that ever I heard of, and some that I don't, like Whittington's bells. First and loudest the cocks cried out, "Dame, get up and bake your pies." "Oh, dilly, dilly, dilly," sighed Simpkin. And now in a garret there were lights and sounds of dancing, and cats came from over the way. "Hey, diddle, diddle, the cat and the fiddle, all the cats in Gloucester except me," said Simpkin. Under the wooden eaves the starlings and sparrows sang of Christmas pies. The jackdaws woke up in the cathedral tower, and although it was the middle of the night, the throstles and robins sang. The air was quite full of little twittering tunes. Do you see the kitten there? Birds don't really sing at night. They sing more during the day, unless they're night birds like owls. But robins usually sleep at night. But it was all rather provoking to poor hungry Simpkin. Particularly he was vexed with some little shrill voices from behind a wooden lattice. I think that they were bats, because they had very small voices, especially in a black frost, when they talk in their sleep like the Tailor of Gloucester. They said something mysterious that sounded like, "Buzz, quoth the blue fly, hum, quoth the bee, buzz and hum they cry, and so do we." And Simpkin went away, shaking his ears as if he had a bee in his bonnet. From the tailor's shop in Westgate came a glow of light, and when Simpkin crept up to peep in at the window, it was full of candles. And there were snippeting of scissors and snappeting of thread and little mouse voices singing loudly and gaily. 24 sailors went to catch a snail. The best man amongst them durst not touch her tail. She put out her horns like a little kilo cow. Run, tailors, run, or she'll have you all eaten now. There he is. And he sees the tailor's shop. Then without a pause, the little mouse voices went on. Sieve my lady's oatmeal, grind my lady's flour, put it in a chestnut, let it stand an hour. Mew, mew, interrupted Simpkin, and he scratched at the door. There they are. Looks like they're having a party. But the key was under the tailor's pillow. He could not get in. The little mice only laughed and tried another tune. 3 little mice sat down to spin. Pussy passed by and she peeped in. What are you at, my fine little man? Making coats for gentlemen. Shall I come in and cut off your threads? Oh no, Miss Pussy, you'll bite off our heads. Mew, mew, cried Simpkin. Little diddle dinkety, answered the little mice. Hey, diddle dinkety, poppity pet. The merchants of London, they wear scarlet, silk in the collar and gold in the hem. So merrily march the merchant men. They clicked their thimbles to mark the time, but none of the songs pleased Simpkin. He sniffed and mewed at the door of the shop. And another rhyme. And then I bought a pipkin and a popkin and a slipkin and a slopkin, and all for 1 farthing. And upon the kitchen dresser, added the rude little mice. Mew, scratch, scratch, scuffled Simpkin on the windowsill, while the little mice inside sprang to their feet, and all began to shout at once in little twittering voices. No more twist, no more twist, and they barred up the window shutters and shut out Simpkin. I think they need to work together. Simpkin knows where the twist is. But still through the nicks in the shutters he could hear the click of thimbles and little mouse voices singing, no more twist, no more twist. Simpkin came away from the shop and went home, considering in his mind. He found the poor old tailor without fever, sleeping peacefully. Then Simpkin went on tiptoe and took a little parcel of silk out of the teapot and looked at it in the moonlight, and he felt quite ashamed of his badness compared with all those good little mice. When the tailor awoke in the morning, the first thing which he saw upon the patchwork quilt was a skein of cherry-colored twisted silk, and beside his bed stood the repentant Simpkin. Now it's getting good. Alack, I am worn to a ravelling, said the Tailor of Gloucester, but I have my twist. The sun was shining on the snow when the tailor got up and dressed, and came out into the street with Simpkin running before him. The starlings whistled on the chimney stacks, and the throstles and the robins sang. But they sang their own little noises, not the words they had sung in the night. Alack, said the tailor, I have my twist, but no more strength nor time than will serve to make me one single buttonhole. For this is Christmas Day in the morning. The Mayor of Gloucester shall be married by noon, and where is his cherry-colored coat? unlocked the door of his little shop in Westgate Street, and Simpkin ran in like a cat that expects something. But there was no one there, not even one little brown mouse. The boards were swept clean. The little ends of thread and the little silk snippets were all tidied away and gone from off the floor and upon the table. Oh, joy! The tailor gave a shout. There, where he had left plain cuttings of silk, there lay the most beautifulest coat and embroidered satin waistcoat that ever were worn by a mayor of Gloucester. Oh my goodness, look at that coat. And do you see the waistcoat, the vest, above it on the table? Oh my goodness. So beautiful. Even Simpkin is admiring the work. There were roses and pansies upon the facings of the coat, and the waistcoat was worked with poppies and cornflowers. Everything was finished except just one single cherry-colored buttonhole, and there, where that buttonhole was wanting, there was pinned a scrap of paper with these words in little teeny tiny weeny writing: "No more twist." And from there began the luck of the Tailor of Gloucester. He grew quite stout, and he grew quite rich. He made the most wonderful waistcoats for all the rich merchants of Gloucester, and for all the fine gentlemen of the country round. So he came in and only had to finish that one little buttonhole. And it was so beautiful that it made him famous. Never were seen such ruffles or such embroidered cuffs and lappets. But his buttonholes were the greatest triumph of it all. The stitches of those buttonholes were so neat, so neat. I wonder how they could be stitched by an old man in spectacles, with crooked old fingers and a tailor's thimble. The stitches of those buttonholes were so small, so small. They looked as if they must have been made by little mice. The end. How adorable. Well, I hope you enjoyed this part 2 story, Tailor of Gloucester. And it is bedtime now, so let's say our bedtime prayer. Close your eyes, fold your hands, bow your head. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Guide me gently through the night, and wake me with the morning light. Amen. I hope you sleep really well, and we'll see you tomorrow.